What if I told you that isolation doesn't just make you lonely, it physically rewires your brain? Not slowly, not metaphorically, but measurably, chemically, and sometimes permanently. Human brains did not evolve to survive alone. From the very beginning, safety meant connection. Food, protection, learning, and identity were all social. So when social contact disappears, the brain doesn't relax into peace, it enters survival mode. And survival mode changes everything. When you go without meaningful social contact, your brain does not interpret it as quiet time. It interprets it as threat. The same neural systems that respond to physical danger activate during prolonged isolation. Stress hormones like cortisol increase. The amygdala, the brain's threat detector, becomes more sensitive. This means your brain starts scanning for danger even when none is present. You may notice increased irritability, overthinking neutral interactions, feeling emotionally on edge for no clear reason. This is not weakness, it's your nervous system preparing for harm. Without social interaction, the brain receives fewer emotional feedback loops. No facial cues, no shared laughter, no shared emotional mirroring. Over time, the brain adapts by lowering emotional intensity. This is why long-term isolation often leads to emotional numbness, reduced excitement or joy, difficulty feeling sadness fully. The brain is conserving energy. Feeling less becomes a form of protection. What many people call losing emotions is actually the brain saying feeling deeply is no longer safe or useful. Social interaction is cognitive exercise. Conversations stimulate memory, attention, and problem-solving systems. Without it, these systems become underused. Research consistently shows that isolation is associated with reduced concentration, slower thinking, and increased mental fatigue. Your brain becomes efficient but narrower. It stops preparing for complex social environments and instead optimizes for self-containment. You may feel mentally foggy, not because you're incapable, but because your brain has fewer reasons to stay sharp. We discover who we are through others. Feedback, reflection, disagreement, connection, all of it shapes identity. Without social contact, the brain loses external reference points, so it turns inward. This often leads to excessive self-analysis, harsh inner dialogue, feeling invisible or unreal. Your thoughts may loop because there's no outside interruption. Your sense of self becomes quieter, smaller, and more fragile. This is why isolation often feels not just lonely, but empty. The longer the brain goes without safe social contact, the more it assumes connection equals risk. This creates a subtle but powerful shift. You may crave connection, but feel uncomfortable when it appears, or feel drained after interacting. The brain learns alone is predictable, people are not. Over time, this can harden into emotional avoidance, not because you don't want people, but because your brain has adapted to life without them. You can be alone and regulate it, but prolonged social deprivation is different. Loneliness is an emotional signal. Isolation is a neurological condition. And the longer isolation lasts, the more the brain treats it as the new normal. This is why reconnecting after long isolation can feel overwhelming, awkward, or even threatening. Your brain is no longer calibrated for it. If you've been isolated for a long time and feel changed, flatter, colder, or distant, you are not broken. Your brain adapted. Neuroplasticity works both ways. The same brain that learned to survive without connection can relearn safety within it. But it requires gradual exposure, not pressure, consistency, not force, and environments where your nervous system feels seen, not judged. Isolation doesn't destroy the brain overnight, it reshapes it quietly. But the brain was built to reconnect, and every safe interaction, even a small one,
sends a message, you are not alone anymore, and the brain listens.